the implication that Palestinians are collectively responsible is essentially racist and part and parcel of a collective dehumanization of Palestinians that has been building in recent years, I would say, and particularly over the last few days. It's very clear, and the UN understands very clearly that the threat that has been issued, that it is a threat that has been issued by Israel. It has embarked on a massive military assault on a besieged and refugee population in what is the world's largest open air prison. And the Israeli government has promised already that it is going to be on a scale never witnessed before. So this call that was when the UN was told just before midnight that the entire population of northern Gaza should relocate to the south. So we're talking about half the population of Gaza, at least 1.1 million people, should relocate within 24 hours. That is because it is preparing to raise the civic, economic, and cultural heart of Gaza to the ground. Hundreds of thousands of troops are amassed, ready to invade, and they are also mobilized by the conviction that they are coming to deal with, as the Israeli defense minister put it, human animals. So I just want to remind you what it includes, the north of Gaza. It includes
how would you do it? How is it possible to try and move many people?
Possible. It is not possible to move that many people. It is not trying to make them safe. This is a threat that is geared towards ethnic cleansing. People have a terrible, terrible choice. They haven't stopped their bombardment of North Gaza. There's no safe place in Gaza for people to get to, whether that's in the north or the south. But what is really clear is that the Israeli army wants to try and destroy the north of Gaza as much as possible, and move in a way that
I'm really struck by
very different impacts on the ground.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I was really struck by what you said there about ethnic cleansing, because in terms of the stated aim of the Israeli government in terms of response to the attack that was on its citizenry, they've never said that their stated aim is to ethnically cleanse, get rid of all Arabs from Gaza and all Palestinians. However, the stated aim of Hamas has been many times over. They, believe them when they tell you that it has been to get Jews out of Israel, and which sounds to me very much like ethnic cleansing. And I'm really intrigued as to what, for those people that say that Israel has a right to respond to what's happened to it, that it has a right to defend itself, what that looks like if it's not about sending soldiers into Gaza to try and find and capture Hamas fighters.
Well, I think it's very important to put this into context. Palestinians are experiencing what they call a new Nakba, a catastrophe, which refers to 1948, when Israel was created and ethnically cleansed the majority of the Palestinian people from their homes. Most Palestinians in Gaza are refugees from the Nakba of 1948. And ever since 1948, there has been a constant, by successive Israeli governments, there has been constant efforts to continue that colonization of land and to continue to dispossess Palestinians. And that's through all sorts of different means that it's been employed. And just because they might not state that they intend to ethnically cleanse Palestinians, we have seen the consistent dispossession and displacement of Palestinians over decades. And Palestinians know that if they leave their homes, they are likely never to be able to return. They have experienced that over decades, and that is why that is not an ingenuous call from the Israeli government. This is about trying to move people off the land and make sure that Gaza, once and for all, is absolutely unlivable.
One of the issues that seems quite difficult to understand for people who don't have a broad knowledge of the region, is what the relationship is between Palestinians living in Gaza and Hamas as an organisation, because we're told that it's a But we also know that it used to be the elected government of Gaza, and it's difficult to work out what its popularity is, what its representation is, what's the relationship between the two.
Well, you're talking about a population again of 2.2 million people. There haven't been elections since 2006. So I think talking about elections is nonsensical in this sense. They are the de facto authorities in the Gaza Strip, but the kind of rhetoric that has been employed and the implication that Palestinians are collectively responsible is essentially racist and part and parcel of a collective dehumanization of Palestinians that has been building in recent years, I would say, and particularly over the last few days.